Most people are using AI completely wrong. And honestly, it's not their fault. You open ChatGPT, you type in, give me 10 ideas for my newsletter, and you get back something bland and forgettable or sounds like everything else. And so you quietly think to yourself, yeah, this AI stuff is just overhyped. Honestly, I thought the exact same thing the first time I tried to do real work with AI. It handed me research that was just flat out wrong, outdated, was confident, but it was wrong. But here's what I want to show you today. There's a ladder, four rungs, and almost everybody gets stuck on the very first one, frustrated before they ever find out what these tools can actually do. So by the end of this video, you're going to climb all four rungs, and the thing you're going to build at the top, well, you set it up one time and then you never have to repeat yourself to an AI again. So I'm going to show you. Now, let me back up and tell you where it all started for me. When AI tools first started getting popular, I did what everybody else does. I went to test it. I asked for it to help me with some research for my schoolwork. And all I remember thinking is, this is incredible. It feels like magic in about 30 seconds. That's about how long it lasted. Then I actually read what it gave me, and the information was old. Some of it was just wrong. And I had that moment that a lot of you probably had, where you go, okay, maybe this just isn't the thing everyone is saying it is. And that's the fork in the road. That's the moment that most people quietly just give up on AI. They decide that the tool is just done. I want you to hear this part because it's the whole reason why I'm sitting here talking to you. I didn't decide the tool was dumb. I decided I just didn't quite understand it yet. So instead of walking away, I went the other direction. I started digging into how these are actually made, how they're trained, why they behave the way they do. I started paying attention to what was coming next, what the next versions might be able to do. And so I wasn't just reacting, I was a step ahead. And not long after that, I had the moment that flipped everything for me. I asked a model to put together a document for me. And what came back was genuinely excellent, well organized, sharp, exactly what I needed. That was like a real wow moment for me. It's when it clicked that this wasn't just a toy. This was going to change the way you and I work forever. But, and this is the important part, the difference between the garbage research and amazing document, it wasn't just luck. It wasn't just a better model. It was something I learned in between. And that's where we're going to start with rung number one. There's an old saying in computing, it goes garbage in, garbage out. It's been around forever, and it turns out that it's the single most important thing a beginner can understand about AI. What you put in determines what you get out every time. And here's the trap. The models keep getting smarter. The answers keep getting more accurate. And so people assume that means prompts matter less. But it's quite the opposite. As the tools get more capable, the quality of what you ask becomes the thing that separates a generic answer from a great one. So let me make this real. Let me actually show you exactly what a garbage prompt looks like versus a good one, because everybody says be specific and nobody actually gives you a picture of what that means. So what I used to do is I used to just ask, ChatGPT or Claude, give me 10 ideas for a newsletter for my business. And I'll just use newsletter as an example here. And it would come up at the time with 10 generic responses. And none of them were really great. So I had to go back to the drawing board and give it a lot more. And it could just kind of throw things out about any kind of business or any kind of knowledge or what its default setting is. Luckily, newer models will maybe just ask general questions, but the premise still stays the same. It's garbage in, garbage out. And I gave it nothing, so it gave me nothing. But let me show you what changes. So I rebuilt the same request, but I added something different. And if I share my screen, I still asked for the same request as far as it comes to getting a newsletter. But this time I said, you are a marketing specialist working for an AI content marketing agency that helps health, fitness, and wellness businesses expand their digital presence through organic social media content. You're planning a weekly newsletter that goes to our entire email list. The topics should hit the pain points we hear on our consultation calls. Things like, I don't know what AI can even do. How do I get my AI to not sound generic? Using AI just creates stuff my customers hate. I don't know where to even start. What's the best AI tool to use? I want you to plan a newsletter, one value based email per week. Each email should be 3 to 4 paragraphs, 2 to 5 sentences each, and the tone should be personal and very human and simple. And research the common AI tells and AI slops so you can avoid the mistakes that most AI generated content makes. Okay, so let's pause here because what I just did, there's 5 moves in there, and each one is fixing a specific problem. One is I gave it a role. You are a marketing specialist. That tells the AI who to be, which shapes how it thinks. Number 2, I gave it context about the business, what we do, who we serve. Now it's not writing for a generic company, it's writing for mine. 3, and this is my favorite, I fed it real pain points. These aren't made up, these are the exact things that people say to me on calls. When you give an AI the real words your audience uses, the output stops sounding like a robot and starts sounding like it actually understands somebody. 4, I told it the exact format. 10 weeks, 1 email each, 3 to 4 paragraphs, 2 to 5 sentences. I'm not leaving the shape of it up to chance. And 5, just as important, is I told it what not to do. I asked it to go research the signals that make content feel AI generated so it could avoid them. You can tell these tools what to steer away from and not just what to do. This is called guardrails. Now, most people who get good at AI stop right here. They learn to write a great prompt and they're thrilled. And honestly, this alone puts you ahead of most people. But there was still a problem that was nagging me. And solving it is what took me from using AI to actually building with it. Okay, so here was my problem. That big prompt that I showed you, I had to type all of that every single time. Every time I wanted a newsletter, I'm re explaining who we are, who we serve, what the tone is, all of it over and over. And one day it hit me. Why am I doing the work of pulling all of this out of my own head? Why don't I just make the AI do that part too? So I started doing something that when I first tried it, genuinely felt like a cheat code. At the beginning or end of my request, I would tell it to interview me. Interview me to gain all the clarity and information needed for what I am requesting of you. And instead of guessing, the AI turned around and started asking me questions, good ones, things I hadn't even thought to include. It's pulling the context out of my head one question at a time. And this is the move almost nobody teaches beginners with AI. You don't have to be a perfect prompt writer. You don't have to think of everything up front. You can just, well, let the AI interview you and you'll find the gaps and it'll help bring out those solutions. And that alone is worth the price of admission. But we're not done because now that the AI has all the great context, I don't want it to forget the second I close the window. I want to keep it. And that is rung 4. And this is the one that changes everything. So after the AI interviews me and has everything it needs, here's the fill instruction I give it. And I'm going to read it exactly, and then we'll watch it work together. So if you go back and you see, here was the original prompt that I gave it. You're a marketing specialist working in an AI content marketing agency for health, fitness, and wellness businesses, yada, 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 yada. But the part that I want to emphasize here is I asked it to interview me to gain additional clarity on the goal and task that I'm giving you. Once you have all the information you need, create a skill for yourself so I never have to repeat this context again when I ask for a newsletter. Put that skill into a markdown file I can save in a new project along with a copy paste instructions prompt to put into the new project instructions. Keep it under the project instructions character limit. Then we're going to go through this interview process. Now, to keep you from having to sit here and watch me just answer all of these questions, I'll go ahead and just skip forward to the solution. So I'll see you in a second. me. I answered all of the questions, and then it gave me the newsletter skill and the project instructions. So I'm just going to copy this here, the instructions, and then you can do this in Claude or you can do this in ChatGPT or Gemini. It's just different names. ChatGPT is going to be a custom GPT. Claude is a project. Gemini is like a gem or something. But I'm just going to show you here. You can go to projects in that left panel and you can create a new project. So for this, I'm going to say it's a newsletter copywriter. All right. And then for what am I trying to achieve? I'm just going to say agent for weekly newsletter copywriting. We're just going to create the project. All right, now those instructions that I had, I'm just going to paste them right in here. We're going to save. Perfect. And then we want to add that file that we had before. So I already downloaded it. I'm going to come over here and I am just going to drag and drop. Now, the great thing is all of that detail I gave it in the conversation before, I don't have to repeat myself ever again. It lives in here. So if I want someone to come out and build out these emails for my newsletter, all I have to do is come into my projects, click that newsletter copywriter, and tell it to go. Now, that's creating a skill for an agent to help you do work. And there's a lot more that we can do, but one detail I want to add is I said to keep it under the project instructions character limit. That's a little thing, but it's kind of the thing you want to know to ask for. Once you've actually hit the wall in real life, these instruction boxes have limits and you don't want AI, handing you something that won't actually fit. Again, this goes into guardrails. So I take that, I created that new project, and that is actually a usable agent. People talk about AI, they talk about AI agents. Now, again, there's a lot more that we can do with agents, but at least in this case, something very simple and easy that you can do and use today, and it's set up and done. So let's actually show you what life looks like now compared to where we started. Remember at the beginning, generic prompt, garbage in, garbage out. And then that giant prompt that I had to retype every single time. Now I go to that project and I just say something like, write an email for a newsletter about this specific problem that my ideal customer asks about every call. And it's going to go in and it's going to keep those rules and guardrails that I gave it before. That's it. That's all I had to type. All that context is already baked in. It already knows who we are, who we serve, the tone, the format, what to avoid. I don't explain anything. And it doesn't stop at one. I can ask it for 10 newsletters. I can ask it to help me brainstorm brand new newsletter ideas. The hard part, the thinking, the context, the setup, all of that is moved out of the every single request and into the setup I did once. That's the difference between using AI and building with AI. Most people are down on rung one, retyping the same stuff forever, wondering why it feels like such a grind, but you don't have to live down there. So let's recap the ladder real quick, because I want you to know exactly where you are and what your next step is. So rung one was that big ask that gets garbage in, garbage out. Rung two, context changes everything. Give it a role, your business, the real words that your audience uses, the format, and what to avoid. Rung three, stop doing all the work yourself. Let the AI interview you and help find the gaps and fill them. And then rung four, turn that context into a skill you save once and reuse forever. And here's the only thing I really want you to take away. I didn't learn any of this from a course. I learned it by hitting a wall, getting annoyed, and going to figure out why instead of just giving up. You don't have to know everything about AI to start. You just have to keep climbing when something breaks. Now, I don't want you to just watch me do this. I want you to actually do it. So, I put together a free cheat sheet. It's got the anatomy of a great prompt, the exact interview me, and then build me a skill, instructions word for word, and step by step directions for setting this up, both in Claude and in ChatGPT, because well, they can work a little bit differently. Plus, a copy paste prompt library so you can actually start this today. So, you're going to see that down in the description below of this video. So grab it, build your first skill, and tell me what you made it for. I love reading the comments. This is a brand new page, so there's not many here. Please leave a comment. And if you like this video, please subscribe, follow along. It'll help me reach more people and help give them the step by steps and the AI tips of the trade and tools and tactics that help so many other business owners stay ahead in business and in life. Love it. And again, this is just the beginning of what an AI agent and what AI capabilities are. So stay tuned. I can't wait to teach you more.